good for him getting to go to Toronto. Toronto got somebody, but man, I just wish there was a way to know what was going on. Like, what did the Orioles see that the Blue Jays didn't see?
So Jeff Hoffman is a Toronto Blue Jay. Blue Jays talked someone into signing with them, so that's good. And he's going to get a few seasons. He's got incentives that could take it up to $39 million. AJ, he did flunk not one, but two physicals, or at least medical reports, with both the Orioles. That's common. That's been a thing for years. And the Braves. Mark Bowman reported about that maybe 30 minutes ago. Yeah, that one just popped up. I don't know if you caught that, but he said, per source, Hoffman had a potential deal that was nixed when he failed a physical with the Braves medical staff. Hoffman also reportedly failed a physical with the Orioles before signing with the Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays are like, yeah, we're good. But, for me, AJ, when the Orioles do it, I'm like, whatever. They always do it. But when the Braves do it, I get a little more concerned.
Yeah, the Braves are a new one. I mean, we've seen teams obviously fail. Correa. We saw the Giants and the who was Mets. The other one that's failed? The Mets failed them, right? So some teams have a higher thing. The Orioles have done this for years. They've failed a lot of guys over the years. This is the first one I've heard of the Braves. There must be something going on in there. But hey, the Blue Jays finally got somebody. So be excited, Toronto fans.
He sounds excited. I love that.
Yeah. You know him well. I mean, he was just on the Phillies, and he was a gem for them. I mean, it was a huge pickup for them because he was a big part of the Troy Tulowitzki deal back with the Blue Jays, and he was a first-round pick, big deal. And it's taken him up until this point as a reliever to figure it out. Hits the market, wants to be a starter. Market tells him no.
Market says no. There was two teams that wanted him.
As a starter or a reliever?
The Braves and the Orioles.
I know. I love the pitcher. I'm saying he is going to be a reliever for the Blue Jays. They said he might close games for them, as far as I saw.
But then there's also number of innings.
Sure.
It pumps it up. So it could be some type of hybrid type of thing.
Maybe multi-inning? Because the incentives weren't based around him going 120, 130. It was based around him going 50, 60, or 60, 70, 80, 90?
70, 80, 90.
60, 70, 80, 90.
Was 60, 70?
Yeah, 60,
okay.
Yep.
I got it. 60, 70, 80, 90, $500K when he hits each of those markers. The guaranteed money's 3 years, $33 million, and he's in his age 32 season coming up.
I love the deal for him. I mean, whether he wanted to start or not, that money wasn't there. This is great money to be their closer. He's never really solidified a closer role for an entire season. He's been dominant, but if you look at his numbers, yes, he pitched in Colorado for a while. That's tough for anybody who's just learning to pitch in the big leagues. But what he did in Philly, it's not going to be quite as easy in Toronto just because Philly had a lot of options, and he was never really the guy until he became the guy. So it'll be a little different when you're automatically the guy. We're putting you right in the role, so we'll see where he's at. But I think they get a good deal if he becomes a shutdown closer for 3 years. And that injury concern, maybe it alleviates whatever it is in his shoulder.
Yeah, and I want to just touch on the injury concern. It's just funny how a couple different teams had a couple different opinions on everything, and then one team's like, we're good. It goes to show you where, not maybe one doctor thinks one thing and another thinks another. I mean, it goes to show you the trust you got to have in that person, and you got to be reliable, and you got to be honest in what you're seeing. And some guys might have saw something different, and the guy from Toronto's like, hey, man, it's a concern, but I think he'll be okay. I mean, I don't know what he said, but it's amusing. It's crazy to think that some guys no, we're not doing this anymore. Don't do it. And then you got the Blue Jays are like, all right, we're good. So a lot of different opinions.
He's been pretty healthy the last few seasons.
Yeah, that's where
you never know what's behind the hood, though, and these teams get medicals. We don't. So we can never really fully comment on what's going on there. I do know that the Blue Jays made a trade for Andres Jimenez, and aside from that, they have been able to talk free agents into coming over there this season. They've been finishing in second place a lot lately, so they need some wins. This is actually the most money handed out to a reliever during 10 off seasons of the Mark Shapiro, Garrett Atkins era in the front office. So this is a big investment for them in the bullpen, not overall. But AJ, this is the Blue Jays at least trying to get back on track here and make a late push in an off season where we look at their roster and where do you place them in the AL East right now?
I mean, they're still they're at least fourth, aren't they, in the AL East?
Yes.
I mean, the Orioles, I think you can make the Red Sox, if not fifth. The Orioles, the Red Sox, the Yankees for sure, and then the Rays. I mean, they always seem to figure it out somehow. So I think this also caught him Cost him, what, $7 million? Because didn't he have 3 years, 40 with the Orioles, and that went away because of this physical? So it cost him $7 million. Yeah, I mean, good for him getting to go to Toronto. Toronto got somebody, but man, I just wish there was a way to know what was going on. Like, what did the Orioles see that the Blue Jays didn't see? Right? Like, what was it? And then he also wanted the Clay Holmes deal, and he didn't get the Clay Holmes deal. So a lot of interesting factors with this signing.
I'm wondering if they told him what they saw. I guess it's none of our business. I'd love to know, but I wonder if they told him. Maybe next time we have a pitcher on, because pitcher. I've never met a pitcher that's like, dude, bro, my arm is great.
It's perfect, right? There's nothing wrong with it.
No, nothing wrong. It never hurts.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like, let's put it this way. It's as rare as saying AJ and I's knees don't hurt. Like that is not the common thing. Yes, we talk about it all the time, but for a pitcher to be like, go ahead, take a picture, see what's in there. Everything's going to be good. Everybody has something wrong in there.
Mm-hmm.
Even AJ has something wrong. It's just not. It just hasn't come to a head. He doesn't feel it.
Yeah, pitchers are even easier to scrutinize when you're looking at medicals. Yeah, especially if it's a guy that's been pitching for a while.
There's a lot of red flags in there.
Figuring out dinner every night with variety is not easy when you're running around. Let America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, help you out.
HelloFresh has over 50 recipes to choose from each week. They pre-portion the ingredients and then ship them right to your doorstep.
If you're looking to fit a specific lifestyle, HelloFresh features preferences like fit and wholesome, quick and easy, or a vegetarian option for you too.
HelloFresh helps you eat healthier and stress less about how you're getting the ingredients and ideas for that perfect home-cooked meal.
In many parts of the country, it's cold out, so skip the hassle and snuggle up next to your phone or your computer and pick out your favorite recipes. Then let HelloFresh handle the planning, the shopping, and most of the prep. Get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. One item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/FT10FM. The one other thing to keep in mind here is that what ends up happening is the Blue Jays get Jeff Hoffman, who was on the Phillies, and it's a big loss to the Phillies bullpen. They've done some other things. The Phillies picked up Toronto's closer, Jordan Romano. Now, Romano's on basically one more year and costing a lot less in terms of a long-term commitment, of course. I think he's making 7-ish this coming season, but they kind of swapped closers just now, so we'll see what happens, right? I want to track those two. I like tracking two guys that have storylines that are carrying through. It's like you chose this free agent over this free agent. All right, let's see which one plays out better this year.
We'll see. Jordan Romano probably has the bigger upside, but he has probably the lowest floor too.
Very low floor based on injury past. Yeah. The Blue Jays said, AJ, we don't want to give him the 7 and change because we just don't trust the arm. I mean, we're talking about medicals here. They kind of told us how they felt about his medicals because if he's healthy, he's worth that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Hoffman did struggle in the playoffs though last year. Go back and look at him against the Mets. He struggled. So maybe there was something going on in there. I don't know if his velo was down, but yeah, the Blue Jays, that's exactly what you said, Scott. They basically swapped Hoffman for Romano, and we'll see which one works out better. I mean, Romano obviously has a lot more closing experience than Hoffman, but if Hoffman wants to be a starting pitcher, we'll see if he can hold up because it's been a while since he's done it. It's been a bit, so we'll see if he can do it, but it's going to be interesting to see how these two end up.
Thoughts on Toronto before we close the book on this?
It's another piece.
Yeah,
it's another piece.
What's next? Santander?
That would be great.
That one makes sense. I'm wondering what's going on there. Anyone else think Santander is a good fit for Toronto? Haven't we all talked about it?
He's a good fit for a lot of teams.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, because he hits the homers, but
they need offense. The Blue Jays offense was crap last year. They have good defense. Now it's even better with Jimenez.
But do you think they're just going to go and plug him in and be like, I know you're not great, big on base percentage. Now, compared to his batting average would be low, so his on base
he's a low 300 guy.
300-ish. But career high 44 homers. He's like an every other year kind of guy. Is he going to hit his 40 homers there? Clearly, it's like if he's the guy that they're automatically penning in as their 40 home run guy, I just don't know if it's that fit. Because why would he even sign there without Vladdy or Bo still being around and all these pitchers going out just because they give them the most money?
Yes.
Blue Jays have known they're not giving the most money. They have been known they just don't do it. They're not giving out the most money.
You think someone else is going to outbid them for Santander? Who is it? AJ, who am I missing? Because we saw the report from Ken.
Right now, it doesn't look like anybody. Because if there was somebody out there, he would already signed. So I don't necessarily agree with that. Blue Jays are in that position where like the Nationals were when they signed Jason Worth. They're going to have to go out and overpay. The Tigers had to do that, right, with Pudge and Maglio Ordonez a couple years, like in 05, 06, like when they got Pudge to come in 04, and then they got Maglio to come, I think, in 2006. You're going to have to overpay to get guys to come there because they don't believe in what you're doing, I don't think. And in order to go to Toronto, guys are going to have to get overpaid unless they get developed in the organization or they're traded for.
But if you look at both those cases, the Nats had like their 4 number 1 picks coming up. The Tigers had that ridiculous starting rotation coming into the big leagues, like with Anibal Sanchez. So I think the Blue Jays are the exact opposite. They're coming to an end. Shapiro has just crushed this minor league system. And now it's like, why would you sign there other than because it's the most money? And if you start dropping Santander down into 3-year range, I think, or whatever, if he's getting 3 from the Blue Jays and they start dropping down, like I feel like other teams will jump in. But